Good Friday afternoon, everyone. Thanks for stopping by for a check of your forecast. Hope everyone's doing well today. We've got some isolated showers and some embedded thunderstorms, very weak thunderstorms, making their way into the Texas Panhandle this afternoon. Again, kind of wild to think that we're talking about thunderstorms on the first day or second day of January, rather. These are not going to produce a whole lot of rainfall. They are very high base. There's a ton of dry air underneath these. And so if you do see some of this rain get to the surface, probably only going to see about 2 to 5 hundredths of an inch of precipitation. It's not going to be a lot, and it won't be for very many of us. So don't bet the farm on seeing anything beneficial from these. In fact, everyone probably won't see anything beneficial. If you do see that, half a tenth of an inch of precipitation, you're probably one of the highest numbers that we've got there for the rain standpoint. This is a live look outside in Texan. You can see some of the verga on the back side of that little small disturbance where we've got that cluster of showers. It did rain a bit in text line. It didn't rain very hard, nor did it rain very long, about 10, 12 minutes or so. That has come to an end, and you can see again some clearing skies kind of way out there and some of those high base verga showers as well. Here's a look at those that rain chance for the rest of this evening. Again, really going to be kind of focused on that corridor from Clayton all the way down towards the Dalhart, Dumas, Borger, and Pampa area. We may extend this a little bit further to the south with the direction that these showers are moving in. Areas like Boys Ranch and maybe even us here in Amarillo will have a shot for some of those isolated showers coming through. Again, the chance for it to be measurable is very low, only at 10 to 20%. So don't get your hopes up. As far as tomorrow's concerned, we'll see more sunshine. We'll have a surface high kind of centered over the panhandle. That's going to create some variable winds. They're going to be pretty light in nature as well. So I would take advantage of Saturday afternoon if you can. If you want to go get out and, if you need to spray in some of the row crop fields, should be a good chance to do that today. Not so much. The wind's very strong, especially in the southwest panhandle. Highs tomorrow are expected to be in the 60s for most, if not all of us, and we'll end up with those calmer winds, probably under 10 miles an hour for the most part, too. So there's, again, that small group of showers that you see that we were talking about earlier coming through the panhandle. This is 6 o'clock in the evening, so give it another 2 hours or so. We may have some of those isolated showers or a weak thunderstorm coming by the Amarillo area, and then we'll see them fade away as that sun goes down and as we move into the overnight hours. Temperatures tomorrow morning will start off in the 30s. Again, we've already shown you those highs forecast for Saturday afternoon. Should be a pretty pleasant afternoon to be outside. And then we'll end up with some additional cloud cover on Sunday. But the big kicker for Sunday is going to be that wind. It's going to be out of the southwest and it's probably going to be breezy as we start to see that ridge of high pressure start to push to the southeast and we get more troughing out in the western half of the country. Again, we're not really expecting any super active weather to start the week other than maybe some breezier winds that could lead to some elevated fire conditions, which we think it will occur on Sunday and potentially again Monday and Tuesday. You can see those temperatures in the 70s. So this will be the next thing to focus on. It's not going to be a high concern for wildfires, but we are probably going to see, fire spread being possible with those winds out there at 15 to 25, gusting up to 40, and humidity as low as about 10%. So just make sure that you're avoiding activities that could start a fire. If you've got a burn ban in the county, make sure that you adhere to that as well. And then we also have, again, those people that, pull trailers a lot on a regular basis. Make sure that your chains aren't dragging the ground, nothing on the trailers dragging the ground, creating sparks. Because that grass is very receptive to a spark or an open flame. It's been very dry as of the last 2.5 months. So here's how that pattern change is expected to happen as we move into the second half of the week. You can see this is Thursday, January 8th. We've got two systems, and we're going to probably have a series of troughing that develops out here in the western half of the country. The first system is not a very strong one. The track of it also is going to be key on if we have any moisture to contend with. I will say right now, models are leaning towards a drier solution this upcoming Thursday. There's a few of them that still paint maybe a picture for us to have a chance for rain, but most of them do keep us dry at this point in time. So that's probably going to be the heavily favored outcome at this point with that first system. As we get into next weekend, or at least closer to next weekend, you can see that bigger trough, much deeper and probably a lot more cold air embedded in it, digging further south and getting closer to the high plains. This one, I think we'll have to kind of watch a bit closer to see if we'll have a chance for some precipitation with it. And again, with how deep and how potent it could be a fairly cold event as well. So this is the ensemble of the European just running through the next 2 weeks. You can see we're going to be pretty warm moving into the first few days of next week. This is tomorrow. And then we've got Sunday, a little bit cooler with maybe some temperatures being impacted by some cloud cover, but still some elevated fire issues. Then we've got, excuse me, Sunday, Monday. Monday should be a pretty warm day. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. As we get into next weekend, you can see there's a lot of pinks and some cyan colors here and some almost whites where temperatures are floating around freezing. If we take a look at precipitation, there's not as good of a consensus on that, but you can see kind of here's that first system, maybe a few ensemble members suggesting a quick trace amount of moisture, and then kind of split as well on that second system. But the second system being more potent, it's probably going to have some better dynamics to work with. So pending the moisture's there, we'll probably have maybe a chance for some more meaningful precipitation if it does take a favorable track. And with the temperature profile, that one probably would be leaning towards more winter weather rather than just cold rainfall. The first one on Thursday, I would suggest being rain. The second one, I think, would have a better opportunity for some winter weather. And then if we look at the GFS, it's painting a very similar picture. We're growing more confident that those temperatures are probably going to be a little bit below normal next weekend. We may end up staying in the 30s and 40s for high temperatures. We'll probably tumble down into the teens and 20s for those lows. This is just the 2 meter temperature average. And you can see there's a lot of pink in here, a lot of 20s, a lot of lower 30s. If you look at the precipitation, not a very good consensus. So again, we don't want to be talking about definitives for the rain or snow just yet, but the temperatures will probably trend down as we get towards next weekend. And you can see again that first system, not very cold, no real suggestions of winter weather. A few models suggesting maybe some snow possible with the second system as it comes through. Same story with the Canadian, pretty good consensus on temperatures getting colder next weekend. Not a very good consensus on the moisture, and definitely even less of a consensus on the snow potential with that one. So that's kind of what we're watching. We're still in that 6 to 10 day range for that event. So we don't want to talk about the specifics just yet, but the pattern's there for cooler weather. Should we get a favorable track and some good dynamics and good moisture, then we would start talking more about the winter weather potential and maybe the chance for some precipitation. But right now, I would suggest is probably having some colder than normal conditions. The Climate Prediction Center thinks that that's going to be closer to near normal. They actually have us favored to be above normal between the 8th and the 14th of January. So through that 7 day stretch is where they have us a little bit above normal. But we'll probably have 2 or 3 days in there where we are at or below normal with that next trough coming through. And as far as precipitation is concerned, they're a lot more confident the further south you get into Texas. Up here, it's going to be more questionable. And we could very well fall into a dry slot and not see any moisture, and all that's just staged down further south. And again, maybe even the winter weather's further south too, butted up next to the mountains there in Mexico and back down into deep West Texas. So here's our 7 day tracker for right now. A lot of sunshine over the next 4 to 5 days. Just keep in mind, we'll probably have some elevated fire issues Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So just make sure you're avoiding activities that could start a fire those 3 days for sure. Tomorrow won't be bad with the winds. Temperatures will be warmer than normal, but we do expect those winds to stay generally calm around 5 to 10 miles an hour. But they'll be at 15 to 25 on Sunday and probably again Monday and maybe even again Tuesday. And probably breezy again Thursday. We just have that next trough coming through, so temperatures will start to cool off. But we may have maybe a dry slot where we do have some fire issues to contend with. That's something that we'll have to focus on moving into next week. That is all I've got for you guys this afternoon. Thank you so much for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully you've got a great start going on for 2026, and we'll catch you tonight at 5.